Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Nitro Pow. This board features Nitro's flat out rocker with 3D surf tech. So it is flat between the feet with rocker in the tip and the tail. The nose does have a little 3D shaping to it. That flat to rocker is going to be a very loose profile that is easier to get on top of powder with and really float. And with that 3D shaping, it's going to funnel the snow back out to the sides. This board is only available in a 157 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that had 3 inches of light pow with about an inch of really heavy wet pow and then crust underneath. It was a little choppy and chundery after the first 2 hours of riding, and when you got on the corduroy, because it had come in wet with the fresh snow, it was a little grippy and just crusty when you dug an edge in, and I rode it with my Rome black label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. In the tips, because of the rocker, it's super soft. Between the feet, where it's flat, it's stiffer. It's about middle of the road. The torsional flex is very easy to engage. You can really twist this board. Now, at high speeds, this nose becomes deadly. It's just flapping. It's looking like a bird trying to fight its way out of Tommy Bennett's mouth. And that's gonna reverberate back underfoot. The tail is kind of the same way. If you get more on the back foot, it can get just pushed around. Now, like I said, through the middle is more stiff, so that means it's more stable, and it's fine if you're cruising in pow, but if you hit anything underneath, you're gonna feel it, and if you get into really rutted out terrain, you can get bucked around. With that flat to rocker profile, it gives you a skate-like pop. Now, when you roll back on your rear foot to engage that tiny little bit of rocker there, you don't have much to work with. And that's not gonna give you a lot of snaps. So pretty much what you put in is what you're gonna get out. You almost have to over-exaggerate it to get more. It's a little bit lacking, especially if you're on firmer snow. Now, when you get into fresh pow, it porpoises really well. It's really easy to just sort of bounce along and go up and down on it. And it's, like I said, easier to engage. That's where it excels. It's just like if you're sending a firm side hit or you're popping a roller that's got corduroy on it, it's gonna kinda lack. Why haven't you subscribed? You know who you are. Come on, it's right down there. Click it. Don't forget to click the bell. You know you want those notifications. All right, you just did that? Now click like. We gotta feed this algorithm over here. We're not getting any bigger without your help. You know who you are. The nice thing is you got a flat to rocker profile with some 3D shaping in the nose. So out there, it's a little less hooky. Basically, if you pop into this and press hard, you're gonna over flex it. You kind of wanna be a little more nuanced and treat it like a spatula through creamy frosting. You're not really gonna pop, you're just sort of pivoting and turning and engaging further out. And as you do it, it's gonna swivel around and keep going until you bring it back around. With the tail being so stubby, high-speed wheelies are fun, and you can really sink that little resi tip back there and get up on it. If you do get sideways though, that area between the resi tip and the actual effective edge can hook and spin you around. Just something to be aware of if you hit firmer snow. Basically, it's fine for pow buttering, but firmer stuff, you probably want something else. So this board pretty much engages right outside the front foot. And while it does have that 3D shaping, you don't really notice it so much with the roll from edge to edge. It's more or less you get it up and it engages and it's gonna guide you, but it's not really driving you. Where you're driving it from is about the O where it says pow in the middle, back through the tail. You're gonna pretty much disengage that front foot and become rear foot dominant with this board. Kick your knee into the center and just lay it over. And even when you lay it over, there's gonna be limitations. This board is not winning any carving awards. Let's be real with each other here. Short, tight, quick turns on groomers, yeah, okay, you can do it. Medium, mellow carves, yeah, you can do it. Deep, hard carves, I wouldn't recommend it. The one thing to note about this board is that with the shaping of it and the camber profile being flat to rocker, it's gonna steer more underfoot like a skateboard with loose trucks. Once you understand that and that the torsional flex with your ankle flexion is what really lets you steer it, you kind of understand how to ride it around. Realistically, it's a quiver board. I mean, it's in the quiver series. It's not the best at carving. It's better for float and pow, so that's what you want to go do with it. Rider in mind, this board is for the resort pow rider that wants a little skateboard under their feet, because that's how it feels. Hey, if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. It's our Patreon, it helps us, it helps you. We try to dump all of our money and profits right back into the community that we've built over here. So swing on over, become part of that community. With the new shape of this board, it's different than the old POW. That tail does sink in deeper POW, so like if you get into like 6, 8, 10 inches, it's gonna sink more, but if you're just cruising like 3 to 4 like I was, the nose does all the work with that 3D shaping. It helps funnel it out. It does ride like a skateboard. It's not the best at carving, and that flat to rocker profile with the softer flex, it can be jarring if you really hit something hard underneath. The one thing to note is it's a very back foot dominant board. So when you get into trees and you're just like squiggling around and stuff, you can get some leg burn with it because you're basically just sitting over this section of the board back here while you're trying to keep that up. The other thing is the tip kick is not very aggressive. It's more elongated. So you kind of have to pay attention to how you're gonna get that up and over anything in front of you. I really do wish this had a little more tip kick. It's almost flat. It just seems very weird. Comparable boards, the Arbor Satori, the Telos Backslash, the Rome Service Dog. Binding recommendations, the Nitro One, the Union Strata, the Rome Vice. All right, this has been my review of the Nitro Pow Quiver Series snowboard. If you liked it and you're trying to figure out what board to ride, why don't you go check out one of the reviews for one of the comparable boards I just mentioned.